Alright, I just downloaded my own mod, and I'm surprised nobody complained, because I'm looking at this, and every one of my textures, they're all pointing to the unpacked, mods unpacked, which, if you look, he is currently in the repo folder, and he is zipped up. He is not unpacked. He is not in the unpacked folder. So I'm going to say that what's going to happen when I go to load him into the game, get out of here, I'll get out of here. Alright, he's not going to have textures in places that he should, because I didn't unpack him. Which, on the surface, he probably looks okay. But look at his brain. No texture. Little brain floating up there. I'll pull it out. And no texture. And I'm surprised nobody has said anything. They only got a texture on it. Alright, now I can fix this problem by just simply unpacking him. But at least, I guess, at least the texture's got PBR. I see a shine on it. At least it's a shiny no texture. All right, so let's unpack him and see what this does. Of course, when I made this, I didn't understand about packed and unpacked and textures, where they were pointing to and why they load and don't load sometimes. I mean, this is like early stuff for me, which I need to update that mod. I was waiting to update him until the day I figured out how to make wheels and an engine. So I was gonna put him on put his head on a skateboard or something like that. That's on down the road. I ain't getting into that anytime soon. Let's load him again, and let's look at that beautiful brain. And I'm gonna wager it's working. There it is. Beautiful brain in that ugly noggin. Working as it's there we go. I got it free. There it goes. One down the road. Alright, so how do I fix this normally? Well, after I realized the problem, what was going on, I just realized that sometimes when you're in the material editor in the game, and why sometimes and not others, I'm not sure. It could have been how I made the textures. I'm not exactly sure, other than what probably happened is I made the mod, I come in here, and I had no texture for whatever reason. I didn't have something assigned right. And I physically went into the material editor. It's like there was a missing texture. Let me find one. It's like this, say this was missing. I didn't, for whatever reason, this was not showing up. So I'm like, okay, I work on all my mods in an unpacked folder. So what tells me, if I go to the mods and I go to the unpacked folder and I go where I'm working at to say, okay, well, let me plug in the right texture because that texture is missing. Just say that was a texture, for example. Then it's going to default where I picked it from. It's not going to put the correct thing. So that's how the problem starts, by picking textures that way. That's the best I can see happens. But it's easy to fix as long as you just go into the folder of the mod, and which you could do this if it is zipped. You can also do this just as long as you edit the zip. It doesn't have to be unpacked, which I get that unpacked stuff seems to be more resourceful hungry on the game. After I have maybe 9 unpacked things, I get an error saying you should consider having less mods. But you can have a lot more in a zip form. So going into the mods main material, which is what's loaded here, all I have to do to fix this so that it works for everyone, whether it is packed, unpacked, which from what I can see, the repo folder is only a packed version. I think you only get an option for something to be a repo is if you get it from the repository. That, like, if I share a mod on YouTube, it's just going to go into the, you're just going to stick it in the mod folder. And if you unpack it, it'll go into the unpacked folder. It doesn't have to go into the repo folder, which that's only something the game handles, or their server. I'm not sure how that exactly, I ain't really quite wrapped my head around what the repo means as far as it being there opposed to just being out in the mods location. But this is how you fix it. You just change all these, resave the file, and that'll fix all those problems. Which it's like, you know, I suspect because of one of the errors, not an error, but one of the console commands, I saw a message saying that files should not depend on locations for textures, that this will be phased out eventually. Which means is that they're probably going to link all this stuff to one, like, central location, that everything will be like DDS files, where I think they're even phasing out PNGs and JPEGs. I don't remember right. Or it's something they've been talking about forever. But anyway, this would fix him. And just to test this, which why don't I see my top of this thing? I'm missing part of my window. I tell you, man, you make a video, something will go wrong every time. I'm telling y'all, it's a damn the truth. I've never ever could not pick up here, not have an option to pick my stuff up here. It's like my windows is the wrong size. This is odd. Guess I got the damn. That's some crazy stuff, man. I'm sorry. What the hell just happened there? I don't know. But like I couldn't save anything. Alright, so I'll resave it. All these settings here are now changed. They don't have the mod thing. So I'll exit this. I'll go back into the main menu, and I'll pack the mod, which will put it just out in the root directory, or it may put it in the repo. I'm not sure how that works. The whole point is we'll repack it. Let the game pack it. I always let the game pack anything I share. I never try to sell. That's just telling me whatever folder I had open, that file no longer is there, because it basically archived it. But we'll double check. It probably, let's see, desktop, mods, unpack folder, where you at? Okay, it stuck it back in the repo. That's fine. It don't matter. You can put a zip in the root of the mods and it'll work also. Like, this is where the unpacked stuff is. This is where I usually have the zip stuff, and if it's from the repository, I guess repo is not repo like I'm thinking. I'm a dumbass. That just means short. It's just short for repository, meaning it came from the repository. Damn, I am a dumbass, I'm telling y'all. But at least I figured this out. I was thinking repo as in you change your mind, you don't want the mod anymore, and it repos it back to yeah. I'm not that bright, I guess. Alright, back to the game. Guess I learned something. We'll check that brain, and that'll be the conclusion to this. Will that brain still work? I changed all that stuff. and it is now zipped. Yep, that's a beautiful brain. Yeah, I don't know if this would be much help for anyone that's not modding, but for people modding, just remember, like, it matters. It matters if it's unpacked or not, if you have your files pointing to the unpacked location. Can't really think of much else to go with this. If you are a happy subscriber to Ugly Head, eventually I will update him. That's been the first thing I ever submitted, which is basically Jason from Friday the 13th Part 1, but for copyright reasons he's Ugly Head. Those guys Friday the 13th are too happy. They like to get a penny out of anybody that doesn't have permission for their names to use their stuff, rather. But anyway, that's all for this one.